Hey, happy Friday, lovers. Thank you so much for coming back by. I am your host, Dee Shields of What Dee Says, the podcast. Thank you so much for stopping by. I also want you to get ready for the after talk. The official after talk will be on Unfiltered, and you can only join this with connection to me so that I can make sure that I, in a way, vet who's coming to have a conversation and make sure that you are invited. And we are going to do our best not to get the hacker callers that come through, even though we know we're probably going to have to moderate the calls that come through, but it'll be on Unfiltered. So make sure you stay connected to my socials so that you can always get the Unfiltered links after topic talks whenever they post up. This is what I want to say to you guys today. What are you doing about the Diddy around you? Right? What are you doing about the Diddy around you? What are you doing about the Diddy, the sex workers, the bad behavior, the bad players? What are you doing about those that are directly around you? Why am I asking that? This week, we saw mogul and, entrepreneur and rap, superstar, key to the city of New York, King of New York, Sean P. Diddy Combs, was actually arrested. His homes were raided over the summer. I think he had Florida, California, and New York locations were raided over the summer, and the feds took a whole bunch of evidence based off of the trial or the charges, the official charges from ex-girlfriend Cassie, which I don't know. I'm starting to see as all this unfolds. Was Cassie really a girlfriend, or was she a forced sex worker? It's a lot coming from that. But we're talking about it. We're gossiping about it. A lot of conversation is happening from it. And it just made me think, they brought Diddy into court. And, a lot of us said, well, he's Diddy. And he probably won't sit in jail while he wait for all these, charges for his trial and things like that. But that's not what happened. That's not what happened. Diddy did not come out that courthouse the first day after the grand jury indicted him, after the grand jury stated their charges. Diddy goes in to see the judge. The attorney is not successful. The judge feels probably maybe that he's a flight risk and a host of other things. Said that they had enough evidence to hold him. And so they kept him. And then the next day, the attorney goes, well, I'm going to do an appeal. I know for sure I'm going to bring him out the front door. Only thing we saw come out that front door was King Combs, mad, frowning, and all the sons, and not the daughters, but we saw the sons and some supporters come out the door without Diddy. Diddy's staying in one of the most notorious locations almost, or so the media makes us think, in New York. And supposedly that is where he is. And his life is in danger, based off of, I don't know. So they claim, allegedly, that a warden has said whoever takes out Diddy would be the individual that'll get like some major street cred. And I can only think, well, what kind of lifestyle did Diddy live on those streets to make someone think that if I do this, I'll be the king of New York in the dark world, in the underworld kind of side of things. And that's really scary, right? So all that unfolded, and that's what brought us to the topic today. Early in the morning, so I appreciate you all being patient with the talk this morning. So that's what brought us into the conversation today. What are you doing about the Diddy in your environment? You know the person in either your home, your building, your neighborhood. You know that person that you always see living a suspect lifestyle. You know the person that appears to have drugs, alcohol, women. You know the person that's known for putting his hands on women. You know those individuals that are disrespectful. You've seen the cops come out constantly probably to that individual. The individual seems to have paid off maybe different high influence people of authority in the neighborhood or the city, the location, the community, to where the person never seems to get in trouble, has some kind of favor to where they come out, but they never really do anything to them. But you see it and you're not reporting it. And you are going to be like all those individuals talking since the grand jury put out these charges and Diddy was arrested. All of a sudden, people have something to say. Now, it could be because of a person like that. They fear him deeply. They don't know how far he reaches. So they know not to say anything, and they suddenly feel a sense of relief and a sense of safety. And that is the reason why they've decided to go ahead and say something now. And that could be you also. The power that you have, the main power that you have, is something that I want to speak on, and it's just me. I'm not going to allow foolish around me. I may not be aware, but once I am brought fully aware of something that you are doing, and it is out of character for what I accept for individuals around me, because I get to choose the energy around me. That's the free will. It was a gift from God. We all have it. You have the free will to say, I'm going to keep that around me, or I'm not going to keep that around me. If you bring that issue around me, I'm going to check you. Maybe some of you are terrified of what? Dying? You may have to check somebody and you may die in the moment that you check them, if that is your time to go. Or you may check somebody and you may not die because it just wasn't your time to go. But you don't have to sit up and continue to allow bad behavior. You guys know the girls. You know the girls in your area, in your community. They're coming out of most of your households. You know the ones that are laying up with high-profile people, taking checks and not working, wearing designer clothing, driving designer luxury cars, living the lifestyle, traveling, going all over the world, not a job, a career, a skill to their name. You know who that girl is. You know who that woman is. Are you checking that behavior in your environment? You owe peace of mind not only to your environment, to yourself, to your community. These type of unhinged individuals, knowing about it, gossiping about it, talking about it, posting on social media about it, and not actually doing anything about it, which you can say, well, what can I do about it? Did you not see them go in there, rip everyone out of the household, break everything down piece by piece, confiscate cameras and computers and phones, 1,000 bottles of baby oil, 1,000 bottles of lubricant, now 1,000 bottles of toys, boxes of toys, right? Snatched them all up. Couple weeks later, grand jury gets an indictment and they grab them. They have the capability to do what needs to be done. Your job is to make sure that you check it in your environment. Tell the person, I'm not going to put up with it. Do whatever you have to do. Keep yourself anonymous if that's your need. Tell someone, do something year that we're in. Do something. Say something. And let them do the rest of the work, because that's what they're trained and highly capable of doing. Your loved one may or may not make it in that process. Who knows? What do you want? To have that person keep on bringing guns and drama and drugs and putting his hands on or her hands on people all the time, all year round, keeping chaos and drama in a place where you could be in safety, but the neighborhood is full of chaos because you will not speak up. What are you doing about the Diddy, the sex workers, the drug users, the gun packers that are out of control and unhinged, causing chaos and hell in your environment? If you're telling the right people, they could get rid of it. But when you're closed Closed mouths won't get fed any peace. You have the power to do something about it. So take that with you. Are you raising young kids? Is that what you want for them? There are people and places. There are people that can take you to places of safety. There are people that can bring safety. There's authority that can come in and do what they need to do, whether you think that the drug dealing, woman beating, sex worker, trafficking person deserves that type of treatment or not. They can come in there and get them and put them in their place. They showed you this all across the media as they showed you how they raided Diddy's homes, all of them, how they confiscated devices for their proof, how they confiscated cameras for their proof, how they went to hotels where these so-called freak-offs were and got all the evidence that they needed. They know what they're doing. That's their job. That's what they do on a daily basis. But what they can't do is find everybody because we don't have the resources out there in any city or state likely to find every person on their own. But you sit up there on social media talking about Pookie in your neighborhood. So you know who it is. I don't put up with that. You get out of line, say you're a family member, and you get out of line. I'm going to check you and your probation officer. I'm going to check you and your parole officer because your parole is supposed to make sure that when you are sent out or home, that you're doing what you're supposed to do in the reformed way that they said that you would do it. And if you won't walk within those guidelines, I'm going to make sure I keep on telling you and checking the people watching you until you do. But that's just my family. I have no control over yours. I'm going to do my part. It's up to you to do yours. Do something. Say something. Put it in the hands of the authorities that are capable. Why would you let a young girl that you know in your family get constantly beat up and trafficked and treated badly and bamboozled into thinking that she's living a lifestyle, making money? Yes, she's in danger each and every day. Why wouldn't you save her when you're fully aware of it? Why wouldn't you do your part? Do something, say something, let the authorities walk in and do what they need to do. And it saves your family member. Why would you wait until they're being kicked in the hallway and videotaped? And then waiting years down the line before they can even say, this happened to me. There's proof out there. Please go get that proof. And then the whole world watches all of it unravel. Your family member doesn't have to be a Cassie. You can protect them by doing something. What are you doing about the Diddy, about the sex worker, the gun packer, the drug user, the drug dealer, the bad behavior, chaos in your neighborhood, packing individuals? What are you doing to make sure that the authorities come, get them out of the way, and bring peace for young people who don't have the capabilities to get peace in their neighborhood because they're just little people? But here you are, a grown adult, hitting those nightclubs every day, knowing who's who. Why can't you change? Why can't you be the one to make a difference? Why can't you do it? What are you going to do about it? That's the message today. You need to stand up and do something. Also register to vote. If I have not said that enough, register to vote. Make sure you are registered to vote. This is a very tight race that we are all having to watch, and we get to choose who we want to be our president for the next 4 years, our president for the next 8 years. Each time we have to show up, we have to register, we have to vote. Check your voter registration in your area. Make sure that it's up to date. Know your voter registration cutoff lines. Know what day is early voting. Know what day is in-person voting. Know your state persons that are running. Support them. Choose them on the ballot. Know the issues that you stand for or don't stand for. Bubble that in. Make sure you're being very accurate. Knowing what each thing is that you're voting for on your election area ballot. You get to choose because God gave us all free will. You could do your part. But free will, it requires action. Constant, intentional action every day. You could do your part. You can make your community better. You can make your nation better. You get to choose what's better for the nation. Not based off of following what people say. You get to choose what's best. You know what's negative and you know what's positive. You know negative behavior and you know negative behavior should not be a part of your choice. Free will. You've been gifted that. Use it wisely. Do something. You have the power to do something. A positive impact on your own home and your own neighborhood. Put your foot down. Get out. I watch you with that BS. That girl that you're bringing in and y'all got all that drama. You're fussing and fighting and yelling and screaming. Get out of my home. I'm no longer paying your bill. There's your power. If you're the one paying the phone bill. Paying the bills at the home. Teenager is the one that caught up in this weird lifestyle, about to be the next Diddy. Stop it before it happens. Get out. Go join the military. They need you. Go join law enforcement. They need you. Sheriff department needs you. Correctional facilities need you. You want to be a badass, go in there. Because the moment you put on a uniform and you can do that, you can fight wars and protect the streets every night, then you're a whole badass. But beating up on women and selling and being the king of your little block, you ain't shit. You are not a badass at all. Prove it. Get your life together. Get your life together. Turn your life around. Do right. Do better. All right, that's it. I am your host, D Shields. You can find me on social media. I am DeeShields on YouTube. I am on Insta and X and Threads. I am D Shields CO. You can find that on TikTok. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for tuning in. Again, Unfiltered, the after talks, the after chat, official chats will start soon. After the topics, we'll go deeper in an unfiltered way with all the guests that call into the line. Thank you so much for stopping by. Happy Friday. Have a great weekend.